What's up, guys? Can you guys hear me? I always say that. I know it gets old. Jeffrey Dawson, channel member. Can you hear me, buddy? El Cap Addict, my man. How are you? Gone awry. Jeffrey Dawson again. Be Shady, channel member. How are you, brother? Brand New American, channel member. El Cap Addict. Can you guys hear me? Am I transmitting, Jeffrey? D-Metal, what is up? I'm assuming you guys can hear me. Somebody will say no audio if not. Sweet. Crispy Critter, how are you, Joe Isabella? Michael Morgan, be up, brother. Dopey, good to see you, man. One Moon, channel member. I'm kind of flicking a controversy, guys. I'll talk about it in a second. Great knife, by the way. The CJRB Pyrite. Pretty fly for a knife guy. Josh Worth, channel member, good to see you, buddy. So this pyrite, I'd been seeing it, hearing about it, and again, this is, let me do a preemptive here. So there's probably absolutely no issue here. There's probably everything I'm getting ready to say is just, I think, an interesting story. Alex Knives and Such, what's up? So anyway, great knife. I would highly recommend this knife. I was late to the party. I'd heard about it. Some of my favorite budget knives like the Rhea and the Malaya and the More Malaya are just great knives. And I'd heard just raving things about the pyrite. And I got an email, Robert Douglas, just a marketing email last Saturday, a week ago Friday, from Atlantic Knives. And I bought some knives from them before. That's where I got my CMB Predator, which I love. And it was for this knife, and it's titanium, right? So it was like, and I'll probably get this wrong, but I want to say 72, 73 bucks, worth every penny. Titanium pyrite. And I thought, well, I'm going to bring it in. I'm going to check it out. I did an unboxing. I'm going to review it, see what I think about it. Well, firstly, the knife is great, right? So I love the knife, the action, the centering, everything's fantastic. Where the interesting controversy started is I noticed it in my unboxing, and it's not a controversy. It's the way I think they did the scales, but I'd call them skins more than scales. But if you can see this, and I don't think you're going to be able to, but the scales sit proud of the liner. The liner's really thick there. And then you've got the little scale, the titanium scale, because it's a different color, right? It's a different color than the steel clip. Mark H, how are you? And it's a different color than the hardware and the blade. So I'd posted it in a group, that I liked it, but my only downside, or the only thing, Sharp Guy ATX, how are you, brother? The only thing I hope to see CJRB do, Mersalt, bonjour, channel member. Good to see you, my friend. Joe Isabella, good to see you, channel member. So I posted that the only thing I'd like to see him do was evolve the scales, right? So about that time, one of the people in the group chats, brother Big Red EDC, who I think's going live tonight. Y'all let me know if he is, because I'm thinking he is. I just haven't seen the tile yet. Or the thumbnail. So he posted to me, does yours look like the one on the left or the one on the right? And I don't know if this makes any sense, or if y'all could even see the sandwich scale on mine here. But he had a picture of a solid knife that looked like my Asher Nomad. I don't have it close. I don't have anything that really would be reminiscent of this knife. But it was a solid titanium, or a wrapped titanium scale on a pyrite. So Mike Jernak, what is up? Channel member. Dr. Drew Dude, how are you? So the controversy was that JB reached out as just a sweetheart and said, hey man, which ones yours look like? Which posed the question because one of his buddies, somebody had reached out to him who got one from Atlantic Knives who was like mine. Well, it turns out that the other picture, and I could be, that's why I say this is all the way I remember it. I haven't gotten any resolution from the question. It's Easter weekend, nothing negative, no worries, no problems. But the other picture was Big Red's pyrite that he got from Artisan Cutlery. That I'm thinking, because I'm a knife addicted optimist, that this might have been a, hey, Roman M, this could be maybe a version 1 where they, first thought to see if titanium was going to be something that people would, pay a little more for. And then maybe they did a version 2. Hey, Todd Carr. But maybe they did a version 2 that since Jody, Big Red, got it from Artisan, that he got a newer version, So anyway, the other gentleman who will remain nameless who got one like me had reached out already on Friday to Atlantic Knives to ask them, because guys, the box says titanium. I'm 100% convinced this is a titanium pyrite, right? I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just thinking that there might be a fresher version. So anyway, he hasn't gotten an email back. And so I emailed today knowing and not expecting to get an email back, until at least Monday. But my whole question is, I just want verification that this is what it is. And if it's a version 1 or if Atlantic Knives doesn't know, I just want them to be honest with me, because I'm going to be doing a review on this knife within the next week or so. And, it's a great knife, but I'm going to point out that I'd like to see them do the scales better. But I sure would like to know that that's exactly what I'm looking at, that I'm not looking at a different knife, because it's heavy. But I know why it'd be heavy. Howdy Goondocks, is because it's got these thick liners, which you have to have, Lefty EDC told me, for a button lock. And this is one of the most stable, pleasurable button locks that, I've come in contact with in a very long time. And in my unboxing video, I spine whacked the absolute shit out of it. Hey, Chaz likes sharp objects. What is up, my brother? And it did not even come close to failing. So it is a great knife, but it's kind of shrouded in a little bit of mystery now, because I just like to know the rest of the story. And if it's a version 1, no harm, no foul. If, Atlantic Knife doesn't know, no harm, no foul, right? And it might be because I think Big Red was going to check with his name, I'm drawing a blank, but our buddy at Artisan Cutlery who lives out in California, anyway, and just see what the story was there, somebody from inside. But I just like to have a little bit more information before I get my review. But the AARPM, or I think that's the blade steel that's CJRB and Artisan uses, is great. It's sharpened up great, and burred up. I always put a 17-degree edge, fresh edge on my knives, unless it's a hinderer, then I'll do 20 or something thicker, right? But Robert Douglas, what's up? But that's usually what I do. But to spoil the review so you don't have to sit through it, I think this is a really well done, well executed knife. I hate the fact that it's got T6 hardware. When I was trying to do the magnetic test, because what I did tonight is on the clip side, is I took out these wimpy ass T6 screws on the clip, got rid of the clip, took out this T6 wimpy ass body screw, and then tried to loosen the pivot, right? The pivot would not budge. The pivot's Loctited in there to bejesus. But I've got a little soldering iron, and if I'd wanted to, I could have gotten that probably loosened up, but I hate that. It's got hardware on both sides. I'm not a big fan of that instead of a captive pivot. But I was able to rotate the scale, right? Just enough. I couldn't rotate it all the way around to 90 or even just a little more angle, but I was enough to get it displaced from the steel liner, right? So I had about 1/8 of an inch. So I was able to get my little ion dapper that's got a kind of a light magnetic end and touch it to the titanium and tell, or the aluminum or whatever the hell this is, but to tell that it wasn't magnetic and that the, of course, clip and the liner was. So I'm just kind of interested by that. What is up, Forrest? SLR channel member, the man, the myth, the legend, the pickle Stevie that I'm just dying for, pickle eating Stevie. But guys, the whether this is a titanium skin, or if you want to call it a scale, or we know Big Red has a version that is fully inset. I would say the steel liner's inset, but this is a fantastic knife. I've been carrying it now since, I guess, yesterday. Ed, channel member, how are you, man? Mike Jernak, channel member, if I haven't greeted you yet. Revolving Blaze, good to see you. But I'm carrying that in my left hand pocket. Forrest, I'm in absolutely no rush. You take all the time you need. And in my left pocket, something I wouldn't ever expect to be carrying, but I have been carrying it lately. And as we get into this, I'll show you guys kind of what I've gotten in the last week or so, since we've had people on before. But I'm carrying the Ohio River Jack. Yes, it's a slip joint, the sheep's foot, that has a very distinct half stop and regular, stop. Very, very sure of itself. What I mean by sure of itself is if you were like I was when a kid, as I now remember, and you cut yourself, or you hold this and you realize that there's going to be no chance of this slip joint closing on you. And again, I'm really talking to myself to remind myself, because I think the reason I never wanted to go back to a slip joint, even though it's a very convenient knife to use, to open boxes, to cut things, kind of seems to be thinner behind the edge. But when I was a kid, my dad had several slip joints, and he had one in particular that was kind of a small one, and it had two little blades on it. And I was about 8 years old, and he told me, do not mess with this knife. I've been sharpening it. And he walked out of the room or something. And so, El Cap Addict, what's up, Revolving Blades? And if I say your names twice, or if I forget you, please don't hold it against me. It's my squirrel brain. It's ADHD. It's my inability to focus on the chat. And what I'm trying, it's kind of like rubbing my stomach and tapping my head. I can't do it. But so anyway, I walked over to his desk when I was 8 and picked up that little slip joint, and somehow I was messing with the blades because he'd left it open and it closed on my finger. I don't remember if it was a hard pull or a soft pull. I just remember being cut, being traumatized, and him walking out and walking back in, chewing me out. I probably even got a spanking, So I kind of think that that's as much why I was adverse to slip joints, because now I've gotten two. I also picked up, right after I picked up the Ohio River Jack, is the QSP Hedgehog. And one thing about slip joints is they seem to get a lot more smutsified, I guess because you're all over the blade. But this one, and again, I love Austin and love traditional pocket knives. This one's very similar. It has a little bit what I would call, and I wouldn't know the grading scale, but it's got a little lighter snap and half stop, even though it's still really sure of itself, right? It's not going to close up on me. So I've overcome that childhood trauma, at least for present day slip joints. I'm sure it eventually scarred me, or has scarred me. But why I prefer the Hedgehog over the Ohio River Jack, the Ohio River Jack is made better. The Ohio River Jack is made more quality. It's M390. It's and there's a caveat to that, and it's a good thing for the Hedgehog, but it's a little bit bigger. It's got those bolsters. But what I love about the Hedgehog is it's a deep hollow grind. So this knife is way more slicey than this knife. Hey, Cheeto Bandito. And I also love this little point for ripping into packages. And what's good about this is 14C28N. This is their QSP's carbon fiber. So this knife, I want to say, was right around 90 bucks, 89 bucks, but it's available in 14C28N in micarta for like 55 bucks. They make one that's a traditional pocket knives exclusive that is in hammered, kind of like the pattern that's on here. I don't know if you guys can see it without that obnoxiously loud carbon fiber, but it's got a pattern too. And there's a traditional pocket knives exclusive that is in titanium with an M390 blade, which brings it up to the same spec as the Ohio River Jack. And ironically, it's right around the same price, 145 bucks. Now these, the Ohio River Jacks, are on sale right now at Traditional Pocket Knives, and I have no affiliation with any of these guys. You won't find affiliate links in my reviews. You'll find links to where I got the stuff, or there's one retailer that you'll rarely see linked in my site, and that's just a personal vendetta I have, but we won't go there. But this is in micarta, and this guy is right at 125 bucks, whether you go with the sheep's foot, the Warncliffe, that to me looks very similar to the sheep's foot. It's just a little more pointy, and the drop point. And the only reason, or spear point, I forget what they call it. I think they call it a spear point. What's up, Brashear? The reason I've got the sheep's foot, again, this isn't a knife controversy. This is just me being an idiot. Grasha and Nargil, how are you, buddy? Grasjan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize if I'm not. But originally, when I saw the pictures of this in there on their website, it looked like a hollow grind, kind of like it does with the weird lighting. So I thought this was the hollow grind, and maybe the Warncliffe and the spear point were flat grinds. I have nothing against flat grinds. I was just kind of thinking most of the Jack Wolfs and stuff I'd seen, the stuff that people were talking about were, hollow grinds, right? That was part of the appeal. But I come to learn that, and I've come to learn this from a pretty reliable source, that when this was being designed, because this is a exclusive that Austin at Traditional Pocket Knives, to my understanding, designed. Fantastic knife. Again, it's, in terms of the build quality, they're both very good, but Austin had originally wanted a hollow grind, and my understanding was told that it couldn't be done. And maybe that's because it wasn't as easy to do on M390. I don't know. I'm not trying to surmise anybody's done anything they shouldn't have done. I'm not that at all. It's curious that this came out shortly thereafter in a hollow grind, which again, this is very slicey. This is more slicey. Blade stock's just about the same. I've got calipers, but I wouldn't know how to read them right behind the edge. But they're just, when you cut through paper, you can hear the difference, right? Dean Griffin, what's up? So anyway, that was just my little rant that means absolutely nothing about a knife that I swore that I would never get into, right? Slip joints. Because what I don't want to do is have my Javon knife addict brain that makes me collect things that I like. And I have no regrets, so it's not that at all. But it's just, I don't want to fall down a slip joint rabbit hole, because what I will do, because I know very, very well and feel very, very strongly about what he's doing, is our buddy Ben at Jack Wolf Knives. And the strongest thing that I've been able to do since I started collecting knives was about 5 days after I picked up my second slip joint, of which I said I'd never buy one. I thought, I'm glad that Jack Wolfs are a little bit out of my reach, a comfort zone. And I'm glad that the low drag Jack, which is the one that's got the kind of rounded spear point blade and the teardrop handle, that supposedly is the most slicey one, or it looks very slicey. It appeals to me. I'm glad it's long gone. Howdy, Louie, channel member, welcome, brother. Good to see you. But I thought, I'm glad that it's come and gone. And then I went to Urban EDC, and to our friend Brian at Blue Creek Knives website just because I was Googled it. And lo and behold, they had black micarta, Jack Wolf, low jack. So here was me and my addict knife brain with 2 slip joints, none of which I ever planned on having. And it was in my shopping cart at Blue Creek Knives, right? I was getting ready to put in a code and I took a step back. It was kind of like a divine intervention. And I said, do you really need that slip joint? And for the first time since I've been collecting knives, Mark H., I was able to go, Z-Man, what is up, brother? I was able to go, what is up, Joe Lancelot Leather? Look how pathetic this is, and I'll get back to my story. I've not forgotten you, man. I just have not sent out any of these giveaway knives, and I'm doing a giveaway tonight too, but I'll always preface it, which I apologize. I travel all week, and I'm slow shipping, but these 2 are coming to you. I'm loving what you're doing. Will B, what's up? So anyway, I realized if I bought that low jack, that I would inevitably, like I did with finches for a while, start chasing them. Like I did to a small extent with hinderers that have left a considerable bruise on my ass. But love them. I could get rid of them tomorrow, but I have no intention of it. So I really do hope, the moral of that story is, I really do hope to get one of Ben's knives. I've handled them at Blade Show. I will go fondle them at Blade Show this year, and I am just absolutely stoked to eventually have one. But that brings me to another knife I got in 2 weeks ago, I think. That is the Miguron, and I'm going to mispronounce this, but y'all know what it's called, the Moyral, Moyral, I think. It is a thick, it's got G10 that sits proud of the liners, much thicker than the Pyrite. Let's get it out of my pocket. Guys, I don't know if I've done the review, but I've done the unboxing. You put skiffs in it, Mersault? I need to find out, and I'm sure it's on the site. I need to find out what size they are and order some. This knife, guys, in my opinion, is the best budget knife I've held. It is got the snappiest action. It's got that pear-shaped deployment hole, which to me is understated, but it's very effective. You don't get that hot dog down the hallway feeling when you've got a bigger deployment hole that your finger can sometimes get sucked through, The D10 on it is sick. The drop is sick. Not that those things matter, but the G10 on this knife reminds me of Spyderco G10. And what that means when I say that is it's very quality. It's got a very good texture. It's not aggressive, but it feels great. This knife has T8s all the way around it. Even the clip. So to quote Jared Deves, one bit, you've got it taken care of. Feels like a tank. That would be the only potential downside. If I said, guys, when you go to Amazon and grab this knife for $47, I don't have any affiliate links. I have nothing to gain except sharing my thoughts, right? And my thoughts on this knife is, for my hand, the ergos are the bomb. The sharpening choil is done 100% right. Bravo. Can you see where that plunge terminates? Look at that. The hole, deployment hole, if you want to call it that's a banger. Another negative or perceived negative, if you don't like middle finger flicking, because I have a lot of people on my shorts, especially when they get crazy, comment on that. You can thumb roll it. I'm not a very good thumb flicker guy, so the fact that I can even thumb flick this knife because the detent's so good is a testament to, well, I failed it there. But I'm not a thumb flicker, right? So another perceived negative would be if you need this or you need this, which this right here is my least favorite ever, just for the record. If you like that, this is the best $50, I think, in the market right now. And I've tried to stray away. Troy Jones, what's up? I've tried to stray away from budget knives because you can't get every knife you want, right? So I learned from a very wise man, Brother Dark Gravity, that if you want to play in more expensive knives, all he thought I had to do was stop buying so many lesser expensive knives, because that's how you get into collecting. I mean, that's how at least my path went from when COVID started and I re-energized and got heavily into knives again. But I'm thinking about, even though I've gotten away from buying budget knives, grabbing the black version of this knife just to have it, just to try it out. And then when I give one away on the channel, I'll still have one, because this knife, guys, is a win. So I won't gush on it anymore. But the Miguron Moire, or however you pronounce that, is fantastic. I love that knife, and I love a lot of what Miguron's doing. So that's what I carried today. What all you guys carry up? Y'all want to throw your carries up there? Let me get on back to StreamYard where I can... You hear the rumor about someone, I forget exactly who it was, but a nice brother saying he was going to send me a couple of pieces of leather because I felt like I could make a little cheap slip for my hedgehog that I swore I'd never buy. Dude, if you actually think that I can construct something, or will even take the time, squirrel brain, full-time job, where I travel the state of Alabama Tuesday through, sometimes Monday, but Tuesday through Thursday, I'm on the road between Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Huntsville, Gadsden, over in Shane's neck of the woods. But, and Lee, Bama Knife Guy, when I'm down in Tuscaloosa, I have lunch with him. So Dean Griffin carried his new GOM. What a great, 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 great knife. Good for you, man. I've got one right here. I always will start talking. I forgot I asked for a carry pocket dump. And now that I know how to pause, Lord Needham bought a second Jaeger today. Fantastic. Sharp Guys carrying the MiG Valona. Got it today in a trade from Bro Josh. I'm wondering, that's the bigger one, right? Sharp Guy, that's got a longer, like a 4-inch blade. I think Grateful Panic has that. Oh, Troy, I'm so glad you're here, buddy. Good to see you, man. The Venom Jack for the Slip Joint Challenge. See, you guys and y'all's work, it's not as much Kevin's incessant subconscious sharing his enthusiasm that is, when I call him a shill, he doesn't realize, in his case, I don't mean it as a negative, it's just his natural positivity or his natural disgust that makes me like or dislike knives. So it's y'all's slips, though, that have really made me think. And keep in mind, I grabbed this when I got the knife just to see what it was like, because I didn't think I was going to ever get a knife. And if y'all saw my unboxing video, you'll realize that the first slip joint that I bought at about 2:30 in the morning, according to the receipt, totally asleep on Ambien, because I take it because I can't sleep. And not only did I buy it, I used Lefty 10. So in my unboxing video, I surmised that he is a master of the dark arts, and he somehow led me to buy this knife. But anyway, getting back to everybody's carry, I just wanted to say that Joe and Troy, y'all's work is to die for. And hopefully I won't get into slip joints, because I've got a lot of fixed blades for you, Joe, because I don't do Kydex. Leather's much better than cardboard and better than Kydex. Michael Morgan, Brother Mimo carried the 0562 tie and the Bihai or Biha. I'm not good at that. Let's see. Mersalt carried the McNeese PM2, 3, and a Spidey PM3 S90V. Nice. I need to get a McNeese. I hear they're awesome, and the ones I've handled were awesome. Grastian. I'm probably just butchering it. I'm going to have to get y'all all on the live stream so I can learn your names right. Drop Bear, Pulsar, and a Poncho Utility. Pulsar Salute. What a great knife. Let's see. Jeffrey Dawson had his MagnaCut Native 5 and his Volsteed Grind. That's the one that I've heard people talk about, and I'm curious how it is because I saw somebody's Instagram post that they loved it. I've got a Volsteed Raccoon and this awesome knife. I will tell you, I love what Volsteed is doing. So I'm curious about that Volsteed Grind, Jeffrey. I need to learn more about it. Captain Chaz Like Sharp Object had his J-Cape, his Avant, and his J-Cal with the sexy new Lancelot leather clip sheath. That's what I'm talking about. That's where these two, let's just shame me. This is how I have to keep my beautiful J-Cals until I can show them off on screen because I have not put them in a box with the giveaway knives that I've got already boxed up on the little boxes because I've got to get my brain in gear. So that is awesome, Chaz. I love it. What a killer carry. Killer carry. Louis is carrying a Manix 15V, which is a rare mongrel, and a Deca with OG wing scales. I love what Original Goat's doing. Do you have a version 2 or a version 1? I sent Marty my version 1 Warncliffe and my version 1 drop point in case people needed version 1 scales, and I think they started making them. They made some templates and allegedly did that. Brother Will B's the Grinsmo Norseman. Oh man. And the Protec CCKS Mordax. I've got a Protec Mordax from the Nashville Custom Knife Show. Great knife. Benchmade Rift, Spyderco Manix 2XL, Concept Pretty Owl, Kaiser Begleiter XL, Spyderco Ronin 2, and Riot XO. Well done, my man. Well done. I love it. Alex Knives and Such carried the Kubi 149C, another fantastic manufacturer that I love and made one of my top titanium knife videos. Cold Steel, Pendleton, Light Hunter, and the Victorinox Super Tinker. A knife of my childhood that I still have in my dad's safe with other fixed blades and shit from my childhood, but I need to get a fresh Victorinox, but that's going to lead to another slip. Let's see. Lord Needham actually carried 2 knives today. The second time recently left the house with only 2. The Apex Flipper and the Bexar. That's a sweet little slip joint that I saw early on, but I did not handle it at Blade Show last year because I was afraid. Now that I know part of it was childhood trauma of cutting myself, and the other part was knowing I didn't want to fall down the slip joint rabbit hole because then I'd be collecting and chasing modern folders, American folders. I love small EDC fixed blades now, and then to chase slip joints, that's getting crazy, right? People would worry about me more than they do. Josh Worth carried the McNeese Mac 3.5 today. That is what I'm talking about. And I have seen that knife. I've handled that knife. I've heard only beautiful, wonderful things about it. Brashear Bear carried a Spyderco PM2 S30V. Great knife, Leatherman Wave, and a Nightcore MT1A. Nightcore makes great lamps. Great carry, buddy. Jeffrey, the Valona, if it's the one I'm thinking about with that kind of longer 3 3/4 or 4-inch blade, it's just smooth as butter. Grateful Panic has one, and I've checked it out. Beef for Baron also had the Ethan Grow 906 today. I'll have to pull that one up. We'll do a little shopping or looking around in a little while, only because I have not been on any knife sites lately. I've kind of been on a freeze. I love the McNeese Mac 2 3.5. I've got to learn. He's in Tuscaloosa. He's in my home state making knives, and I do not have one in my collection. Gone raw. J-Cal salute. What a fantastic handle. And I've got two of these on me in different blade shapes with a large and a small, and then I've got a mini coming. Just awesome fixed blades, and you don't have to get one. If you think of a J-Cal, if you haven't seen me talk about them before, but if you think of a J-Cal as this just killer handle and choil, and then whatever blade you're wanting to gig on, whether it's a simple chisel grind or whether it's a more ornate tanto or whether it's a warney like Stevie got, that's what's so cool to me. I'm supporting a U.S. manufacturer who's truly an artist as much as, if not more than, a knife maker. The two go hand in hand. Wow. Well balanced. But anyway, I won't gush on it. But that's a great carry, Gonerah. Joe Isabella carried the brass Mini Atticus, the Mini Penguin, Kaiser Rocker, and the Boker Shamsheer. That's nice, man. That's another knife that I've only got one of. I've got the original OG Penguin in denim micarta. It was probably one of the first 10 knives that I ended up owning when I got back into knives. It's a knife that stayed in my collection. I'm going to give away a cool knife tonight that I'm going to show you guys, but it's one that I don't put in giveaways yet. It's something about it, and kind of like my channel, it talks about how knives make me feel. I would almost feel like I was cheating on that knife if I went out and got nicer ones or got different ones. And I know a Mini's different, and I've got like a Beglider and a Beglider XL, but for something's weird and sacred, or I haven't been able to justify because I've got one that works perfectly well. I don't know what it is, but that's something I'd really like to experience more of the Penguins. Great carry, great knife. Captain Z-Man carried his Mini Beluga today. Still waiting on his Pulsar. Dude, you will get it. And I'll tell you, the Mini Beluga, in my opinion, I had one. I love that knife. Bama Knife Guy, my brother from another mother, Lee, had mentioned that he'd wanted to try one out, and I sent it to him because I wanted him to have it. And I ended up winning or getting in an auction during Brother Brown's Be-Up, one of his fundraisers. I got a full-size Beluga Tanto. And what I loved about the Beluga, the Mini, is I could flick it on that fuller, right? Now, again, a lot of people are top flipper guys, but two things about the full-size Beluga that made me prefer the Mini Beluga. The Mini Beluga, to me, seemed like a medium-sized knife. And maybe it was the Tanto, not the drop point, that made the full size, because I had the Tanto, I couldn't flick it. I could not get my finger in that fuller. So I was left with this big knife that I had to front flip. So I passed it on. It's a great knife, but the Mini is just a winner. Master Joda carried the Bexar and the XO. It definitely counts. And I guarantee you they were both in beautiful slips, because Joe, Master Joda, created that XO slip. If I'm not mistaken, my local buddy here, A to Z EDC, got an XO and he didn't like the clip. And I said, you need to reach out to Lancelot Leather. And he sent the knife off, and they came up with that slip that he loves to this day so much that I don't know if he's reached out to you, Joe, but he wanted to send you the Mini that he picked up, even though it's got a clip, and so you could have the option to possibly carry it with a slip that looks like his other one. But that's an awesome carry, buddy, and I know you had them in nice slips. The ambi joint, I missed that. What's the ambi joint? Is that the Bexar, or is that something different? Mersalt, don't feel bad. I don't have them out here because I don't want to encourage myself, but I fell under 500, but well over 100 down that rabbit hole. I've definitely got a hinderer in fidgets. Not that that matters, but yeah, I hear you 100%. Todd Carr, full carry Leatherman Surge, Gerber Dime, Gerber Shard, the SD Classic 3-inch carabiner knife, Cold Steel 4MAX Scout, Concept Pelican, CJRB Small Centros. There's a 5th pocket knife and the Artisan Sea Snake. All excellent carries, Todd. Love it. Love it. I've got a Small Centros. I've got a Sea Snake. I had a Pelican. I had a 4MAX Scout. I gifted it, and I've got a 4MAX now. I use it as a comparison knife, but just love it. Great, great knives. I've not tried the Gerber Shard, but I definitely want to get a dime, and I've got a Leatherman Skeletool. Well done. Yeah, the Pulsars, I paid for expedited shipping. I bought mine a plane ticket for $39. That did not make it. Made it a 2-week process. It still went through this weird processing zoo. So I wouldn't get discouraged. I just know that they can take a while, but I also promise you they're worth it. I love, and I've been really trying to be disciplined, but I don't know if you've seen, I don't know if it's GP Knives and Blade HQ. Blade HQ doesn't have many more, but GP Knives, I've got the stronger springs in this. But GP Knives didn't get any Pulsars, but they got some of the towels, the big towel and the X towel. And then they had the compact, which I think was a 3-inch blade. I'm not talking to you, sorry. Sorry about that, guys. But these are in stock now at, I think it's GP Knives. If you Google Kunwu towel or compact towel, and I want the compact, and the compact is like, I want to say $189, which again is a lot of money. I get that, but this is L-Max and titanium with a really nice orange peel on the handle, so it's not just smooth titanium. A really well done clip. It's a great handle. And I'll tell y'all the truth, I like the frame lock better than the X. And these look like the same knife. The clip, I like the wire clip on the X. This axis lock is done fantastically well, but it's set up for the thumb flick. The way that these little stud things, they're not studs, they're kind of like little flipper shells, and they're made for your thumb to kind of ergonomically go in there, but when you go to reverse flick it, it just feels a little wonky. And you're reverse flicking an axis lock, which is kind of a pain in the ass anyway. So to me, it's just not as pleasurable. And I'm guessing, since this knife had multiple deployments with the regular flipper, which I just failed holding it that way, and the front flipper, I guess something because of the axis lock, you couldn't do a flipper on it. But I would like this knife so much more if it had another way or it had different studs on it. And I know I could probably switch those studs from something from Tie Connector, but I'm not going to go to that trouble. But it's, besides that, it's a great knife and it's worth every penny. It's just something that is not awesome to me. But I mean, in terms of a good knife with fantastic action, this is great. And they're both available at GP or one of those retailers. But I like the big towel with the frame lock instead of the, what they call, I think, the bar lock. Just a little better, you know, that's all. All right, let's see where I'm going now. Yes, Lord Needham, I've admired Troy's stuff, and I'll tell you, Lefty doesn't do it intentionally, but he is the best influencer because he truly, you can see how he feels about something. And I think that's just a talent to be able to share that. Mike McLaughlin, good to see you, brother. 3rd day in a row carrying the Hogue Counter-Strike and the Kaiser Variable Wharncliffe. Now that is a knife that I'm interested in. And I've got a story about Kaiser. It's going to be our giveaway knife tonight. And Kaiser, when I got into the knife game again, was probably where I was putting most of my money. And let me tell you what's weird about how I got into knives. So I found Blade HQ and Knife Center first, like we probably all do, unless y'all have better sense than me. But I still go to those retailers and think they do a lot for the community. But I would go to Knife Center and I would go to their sale page instead of going to what's coming or the new page, because, you know, everything was new to me. I didn't know any better, right? I was just seeing things on reviews and hearing different blade steels and different materials. And so I'd go to Knife Center's sale page and look for knives. And that's where I got introduced to some of the Vanguard Kaiser series. And that's where I started getting into the Kaiser blade series, which I've got an extensive collection of the titanium Kaisers with the S35 VN. I've got the John Gray, both of those. I've got the Elisha Isham, the Theta. The list goes on and on. I've got a bunch of those knives. But anyway, I got them all on sale at Knife Center. And Kaiser just makes great knives. But that's something that I think the last Kaiser I got was the Cormorant, if I'm not mistaken. And I bought when they were on sale at Knife Center, late in my knife collecting career, like within the last 6 months, 5 months, 4 months, I bought a carbon fiber Yorkie and a carbon fiber Feist because they were on sale for like $99 at Knife Center. But that's, again, I need to start looking at their new releases. I love what Sharif is doing with Kaiser, and I'm so glad that I've gotten to know him and get exposed to his knives, because it's just so, there's just so much out there. I think is small as our little group of the community is, you wonder how many people are in the knife community. I think just a ton. And then you wonder how many makers are we even not exposed to. That's why I think Blade Show and some of the smaller custom knife shows, if you ever get a chance to go to those in your area, they can be cooler than the big shows. Again, you meet neat people and see really nice knives. Carco carried a little Tucson I just got. Like it. Got it. Checking what he got in the mail. I haven't even gone to the box today. And the only thing I'm waiting for, the only reason I think I might get it, I think I told you guys, I might have told you guys. If not, we're going to do it right now, because I got scammed a couple weeks ago. And I'm savvy, but if something looks too good to be true, it probably is. And let me show y'all something, because it's still out there, and I have complained. All right, y'all ready? And when we were on Tri-States Live, then I'll get back to everybody's carries. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the carries on my screen. I'm going to pull up the live chat over here. Make sure I've got all of it in there. And then I'm going to show you guys the site. Urban Woodsman channel member, what is up, brother? I'm going to show y'all a website and websites that I didn't really know could still exist in this day and age, but cost me $99. There were warning signs all along the way. This was an early morning purchase or attempted purchase. I've never been burned before, but all I did was I went in and I searched for Vox Chillin. The only reason I wanted it is to bring it into the channel to see how it really measures up to the Nightshade, which I think is one of the best knives of the year. It's not as good as my Migueron Moirol, but it's only because I prefer things about the Moirol, or whatever you want to call it, better than this. This knife is slicey as anything I've got, so I wanted the Chillin F8. But I didn't want to spend $200 on it, right? So Blade HQ is sold out, yada, yada, yada. I go down, kicking along, and I find this website here. They knocked it down. Finally. I've complained about this site, guys. Let's see if... Good. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing. That website was up there. Now I know I won't get that knife, but that website was up. Tri-State was on his Sunday Live looking at different knives, Googling them, and came across a site with a different name that looked exactly like that. And I'm going to go back to see if y'all can see. Can you see the background of this knife here? This is just an image that was captured off their website before they took it down. Does anything look familiar about that? That would throw up a red flag? It's Blade HQ. Yep, that's exactly right. So, anyway, dumbass bought there, or attempted to, but Cole saw another site that Google, I work in digital marketing, right? So I know how SEO, search engine optimization, works. So this site's ranking, without being a paid ad, in the top 7-8 sites, which is amazing. I stopped sharing Al Cap Addict because this is just, they took the site down, but this is what I was sharing, is I was going to show y'all this actual listing for this knife that I bought that's right here. This top one called Knife Fox, but they had another scam site or somebody just like them, and I'm sure it's the same person, but they're flooding the internet, guys. And just because this site got taken down, don't think that another one won't pop up. So my point was, it was 99 bucks on sale. It was early in the morning. I dropped it in my cart. PayPal was one of the options. I clicked PayPal. It automatically defaulted to friends and family, which I thought was weird, but I hadn't had any coffee. I went through the transaction. Then I was like, that was weird. So I immediately reached out to PayPal through the app and said, I think I just got screwed. And they sent back whatever, no, we can tell that was you that made the purchase, because it was just an automated response, right? They didn't get my actual message. You're basically just sent money, friends and family, for whatever you did, so you're on your own. But I went and checked my emails. It was at 6:08 a.m. and I went back and checked my email, and at that exact same moment, I got this weird cryptic email that had this link for a receipt, and when you clicked on it, it showed like this just crazy looking knives and forks from China. So major scam site. God knows what else I got exposed to when I clicked on it. But the moral of the story is, when you're shopping for knives, when we're out there looking for stuff, even though I don't like these guys and try not to do business with these guys, I know if I add this to my cart, I'm going to get this knife, right? So, the good ones out there, and the one that I'm trying to communicate with now to find out about the interesting, all right, are these guys. And they're totally legit, because I bought tons of stuff from them. They're good people. But I went, let's see what it looks like on here. Let's just see. Gray stainless is not what I want to look at, because that looks different than mine. Mine was a titanium. But just find legit people to deal with, and I'll find out how my questions answered here. Where's the search tab, guys? Oh, here we go. I don't type as fast as Cole because I'm doing it with one hand. So this is the one I got. And it looks just like that. So the one that Jody got must be a version 2. So I need to reach out to that fellow on Instagram. See how that's got just that little sitting proud scale? There's nothing wrong with it, because Lefty told me you really kind of need a beefy liner to make these button locks stable enough. But I really wish, and Jody, Big Red EDC, has one of these that he got from Artisan Cutlery, CJRB, that has a more traditional looking scale that's got the inset liner. But mine, let me see in my pocket. Mine doesn't. But I know they're legit, so now I don't have to feel janky, because the one on the website's exactly the one I've got. I was just seeing if that one was showing And again, I bought my CMB from them. They're great people. I've never had to deal with their customer service. Demon 13, what is up, brother? Joshua Wilson, what is up? Knife Center's a good one. The only thing, my only drawback, Joshua, with Knife Center, and it's not a drawback, but they're companies that I found out, like River's Edge Cutlery and DLT, they ship a lot faster, where our buddies at Knife Center and some of the others seem to kind of hang on to stuff a little longer, right? So it'll sit there processing. Smoky Mountain Knife Works does it. I'll order all kinds of stuff from them. I'll order stuff from Knife Center, but it just always seems to sit an extra day in processing. When I order something from DLT or from River's Edge Cutlery or from Justin at White Mountain Knives, 9 times out of 10, it ships the day I order it if I order it early enough. Let me get back to carries, and I won't go off on the rant. But again, back to the moral of the story is, regardless of whether, I don't think you'll see the ones with these little thin titanium skins on the steel liners anymore, because the one that is going to be on Big Red's channel that he has, it's done differently and it's done well. And even with these little, what I'd call titanium skins, one of the best knives, that I've experienced. And I would venture that there are a lot of people, probably 80% of you, that will like this knife better than the one that I said is the greatest knife, budget knife of the year. You can just go to Amazon and order this and have it Tuesday, probably Monday, and it's just a great knife for less than $50. And this, you guys saw, was very reasonable too. And stainless steel, I am 100% convinced, is no heavier than this knife. And this knife is fantastic feeling. It feels substantial. I don't want my knife to be totally light, even though I love my Dylan Mallory Forest and my bug outs, even though they're light, but you know what I mean. Let's get back to everybody's carries. Let's see, where'd I go? Yes, Dean. Everybody needs more leather in their life, buddy. And I'm saying nothing negative about traditional pocket knives, but this slip, which is very, very basic, so basic that I actually, one night late, fantasized that I would just make one for my hedgehog, because it's just simple stitching, right? I mean, this is just a simple pattern, but this is nothing like what you can get from Troy or from Joe at Lancelot Leather. And this thing, I want to say, was $30. Again, I was unconscious when I bought it, so I can't quote that, but the stitching's not straight. It's nothing to be even really that proud of. It keeps your knife from getting jacked up. That's about it. But everything that those two fine gentlemen do is well worth it. And I heard a rumor on Instagram that Lancelot had some clip slips ready to go on his website or on EDC Roundtable. Everything in the front 2 pockets and belt. Nice. I carry, just because I saw that, I know it's not a carry, but I carry my primary carry in my right pocket. My new fixed blade obsession, up until the slip joints came into my world, were in my left pocket, usually mounted to the pocket or just as a pocket dropper, or on my belt. Red Wolf! My brother from another mother who's been all over the world, guys. Red Wolf EDC, say hello to the man, the myth, the legend, and just a dear friend of mine. Dude, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I've let the hair go since COVID. I was inspired. Ed carried his mini MBK, mini old guard Warney. Fantastic knife. I do not have that, but I do have a couple of Monterey Bay knives. And I think Sanford's an awesome human being, and what he and Ray are doing is commendable. And my buddy, A to Z EDC, who had a link, but he's blowing us off, has one of those old guard warnings, and they're fantastic. Carco carried his TS314 and an Emerson. Which Emerson, Carco, did you carry? It's not an A100, is it? I love those knives. Forrest, the man, the myth, the legend, carried his Spyderco Yojumbo. The Spartan Talos, awesome knife with molded by ProX. I want to see a picture of your Talos. Forrest Hank and a Lancelot leather wallet and pocket organizer. Nice carry, buddy. I don't know why, just my mind filled in Yojimbo, even though there's not a 2 behind it. But I also have a Talos and an Aster, and I won the second Nashville Knife Show in a row. I ironically won last year. One of like 12 people, I won the Aster, the Talos. And it was the second Talos I had. And I gifted it to Brother Sobek Scooter because I already had one. This year, I was announced on their website as winning a Spartan just from a door prize. Just when I walked in one of those 2 days, I was one of the people that dropped a ticket in. But I won a Spartan fixed blade that I was stoked about, but it hadn't come. And I don't remember how long it took my one to come last time, but allegedly there's one of those out there coming my way. Look at there. Troy's books are opening next week. Looks like if he's talking about him that there might be some opportunities coming up. Carry, we need how to choose a knife or 2 to carry. We all have so many knives. The struggle's real. And if y'all are anything like me, I will carry a lot of the same knives over and over just because I'm familiar with them. I get comfortable with them. One of those knives lately, I love this knife, and I wouldn't have even known about this knife had it not been for Brother Chaz, like Sharp Objects. I knew about it, and I'll tell you what I knew about it is everybody was talking about how good it was, but me, when I thought of quiet carry, I thought about the drift, and I thought it needed to be done in full titanium. I hated the carbon fiber. I know it's beautiful, but to me it didn't go with the knife. Well, and there's no offense to that, Chaz, because I know yours is gorgeous. But Chaz had 2 of them, and one of them he was going to let go, and he reached out to me and gave me an opportunity to pick this bad boy up. And I thought when I did the unboxing, I thought it was carbon fiber. You can watch me stumble. I don't even stumble over it. I just basically tell you, yeah, it's got carbon fiber inset, blah, blah, blah. It's not carbon fiber. It's black micarta. But that shows that I don't go to websites and read about stuff. So you're getting authentic reviews. They might just not always be right. But I typically say go to Google to make sure I'm not an idiot. But the milling on this knife is done so well. The action is done so well. It's a 20 CV blade. Do I wish it was Vanex? Maybe. I mean, would I know the difference? For me, am I at the beach? No. Great knife. Very slicey. Feels fantastic in my hand. For overall, the knife of first quarter, it's definitely it. It's, in my opinion, I'm looking forward to what comes out that I get to experience. And the only way I'll experience is to get it. Because that's the way I want it to be, right? I want it to be stuff that I love, that I bring to you guys, so it's totally authentic. Roman M carried the blacked out Mordax, and I'll find that in a second, but the Mordax is a mad win. I was not initially impressed with the knife. I had a drop version that I was able to try out, and I'm a big fan of the Malibu, so I chased the Malibu forever and picked up one, then picked up a textured one, so I had 2 Malibus. I got rid of one to our buddy, fantastic member of the community, Simplify EDC, and never thought the Mordax that I handled, it might not have even been a real Mordax, but it was one that had been purchased through drop, allegedly, or through Amazon when they were carrying drop knives, and I just found it very sluggish and thick compared to my Malibu, which is pretty thick. But when I was in Nashville talking to Dave at ProTech and he was showing me the MagnaCut Mordaxes, the grind on it's thinner, dudes. It's got a different grind than the old school Mordax, and it is snappy, and it is a fantastic knife. The knife itself is a great knife, but the one that I'd experienced before that had a blue handle was not at all what the one that I've got now is, at all. Chito Bandito had his PM2 and M390 and a Leatherman Surge. That is an awesome knife. I collect, or I've hopefully stopped, but I collect PM2s. I've only done them in blade shape. So I've got the S30V regular Tonto. I've got an S110V because it was one of the first nice knives that I purchased when I got back in the game. One of those top 10 knives, or those first 10 knives, the Blurple S110V, because the guy at St. Nick's at the mall was telling me how strong it was. I didn't know anything about blade steels. I still don't, truth be told. But I haven't had to sharpen it. I have cut a lot of cardboard with it, but like the problem of not knowing which knife to carry each day, I rarely run into a situation because I like to sharpen therapeutically, but I also always have something that's sharp. Roman N also carried the Mini Evo Typhoon, which is one that was pulling me like a vortex, because I think that my this knife is one of the smoothest knives, and I really wanted to get the Typhoon because I love the flipper, the way it's designed. But at the time, I had to be resistant. But I know you've got to love that, Roman. That is a great knife. Did you get the Tonto or the Drop Point? I was looking at the Tonto, but they're both fantastic knives. Brother One Moon had the J-Cape, another knife that I do not have in my collection, but my brother Dark Gravity does, and I've played with it, and I think it's got the neatest sound, and it's got just such a weird, solid, but light feel. I think it's a great knife. The HMC Micro and Auxiliary Manufacturing Humble Blades. Nefarious Art Co-Pick. Ooh, that's a cool little piece. And Address the Mini Pick. Nice. Two Saint Tactical Lighters. Two Saints Tactical Lighter. And Hank for tablet and a rag for me. Awesome, awesome carry. God, I love you guys sharing this stuff with me because I learn about knives. I don't pretend to know all this crap at all. Mike Jernak, brother from another mother, channel member, carried his Kubi Atlas and his Hedgehog. I love the Kubi Atlas. That's the one, the 321, right? The one that looks like the what I call the Arius. And I love my little Hedgehog, even though I swore I'd never get one. Y'all check out Alex. Alex, throw a link up there. Are you a mod? Hold on a second, buddy. Let me find you over here. See, I'm having to switch between my regular chat. Matisfaction, how are you, brother? I didn't see you guys. I'm terrible at this live stream game. I was looking for Alex Knife Thing in the actual chat so I could mod him up so he could throw his link up there. So y'all can check his channel out. Where is it? Where you at, Alex? Am I that far behind? Am I that far behind? Holy Jesus. I think I am, because I don't think I even knew Matty was there, and he's having conversations when I'm looking for... I'm going to mod this guy, and he's probably bailed on me already. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm wondering if I should... I feel like Shane, an auto accident. All right, Alex, I was going to mod you, buddy, but I don't know how far behind I am, and I can't find you. So I'm going to go down to new comments. I apologize to everybody. I'm going to go up here a bit because I forgot that I was reading carries. Guys, I've got to go back to my carries where I was, and I've got it marked because I don't want to leave everybody out. I don't mean to derail us here. I wish I could get my live chat going on the left. I'd probably have a seizure then. Damn a ninja. All right, here we go. There was Alex. And then Crispy Critter carrying a mini roach, a quart of white lightning. Just lit a Rocky Patel while babysitting the 2 hams and a turkey in the smokehouse. That sounds like a win for an evening, buddy. Bama Ninja, Brother Timmy's carrying his Spartan Blades Aster, fantastic knife, and CTS XHP, a dogfish, and a sea snake around the neck. Happy Saturday, brother. Hey, and somebody, I guess I won't get to it in a while, but I need to find out if Brother Big Red's going live in 45 minutes. Hold on, let me pull up my YouTube. I'm not going to lose anybody here. I mean, y'all might bounce, but I'm not going to lose anybody's. Saturday Night Live is scheduled for 9/4/1400. So if I say notify me, when is that? What's 9/4/1400? That's not right. Something's weird about that. All right, guys, help me out. Let's see what it says. 14 hours? Does that mean we're just going to hang here? What's the deal? Hold on a second, guys. Share the screen with you. And y'all tell me what this means. So I'm guessing we can hang out for a little bit. Y'all tell me if somebody else is going live that I'm not wanting to step on anybody. Let's see what we got. Bama Ninja. Cooper Light Steve hiked with Magna Cut, salt, and worked at home with Crewwear Mannix too. Spiderlicious, brother. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Thanks for being here, dude. Thanks for being a member, being a supporter. I love it. Let's see what we got. I love it that y'all are chatting with each other, debate, not hate. God, it's such a win. Todd Carr, I'm reading about your carry. How you do it? That is cool. Guys, I'm sorry I'm so behind. I'm trying to blow down. Jeffrey, he is such a nice guy, man. He's a joy to do business with. He sends videos. I can tell, again, it goes back to why I love Lefty. It's his enthusiasm, right? That's what really, really pumps me up. And I haven't shown you guys what we're doing tonight. This is the Kaiser Lite Vin Mini. It's a flipper. It's a front flipper. It's drop shutty. It's been in my box, not even on the door. It's not one that I was planning on getting rid of, but it's a great knife. It's in kind of bug out size, but like I said in, I think it was last night in my members' final collection dive video where I talked about the way that the handle's very ergonomic. And actually I had it out because you'll notice it doesn't have a protruding flipper. I call this the Vero flipper. It's kind of got that real low profile flipper, but it flips out there. Sharpening choil's done great. It's got a 17-degree TS Prof edge on it. Very, very slicey. And this is going to be the giveaway knife tonight with the caveat that I still got to get all these other knives out the door, and hopefully I'll get them all out the same day. But tomorrow's Easter, so UPS store's not going to be open. I didn't make it today because it rained all day, and those of you who know me know I'm missing a window and driver's side door, or most of it, so I don't drive in the rain. But I promise you, whoever wins this, and Hey Now, who I think we're giving his to Brand New American, and G-Ball. I mean, I've got knives boxed up. Doom's getting a knife from. I mean, it's this. Yeah, I've got to get better. But I'm going to be in town Monday, so I will be able to do some stuff Monday, even though I'll be working. Let's see what we got next. Yes. Y'all, Josh Branson and his awesome son, they've got the robotics thing coming up. I need to go over there and get involved in that. Thank you for sharing that, Michael Morgan. Let's see. Autumn Wind, what's up? Yes, Urban Woods and the Mini Beluga, definitely a winner. Post the big one, but I guess if I had a bigger hand, I'd probably feel differently, right? Because I would think that the regular drop point full size beluga would be as flippable if you had a bigger hand as the mini beluga is to me, which is I've got a pretty good size hand. Urban Woodsman carried his Tempest Pinion. Nice. That's another knife that I have inadvertently missed out on. I do have a growler that I love. So a lot of people would argue that it's a light detent, but I think detent's pretty subjective. So for me, I think it's good. And I've actually got a MASH V2 ordered. I'm looking forward to telling you guys about it and what I think about it. But full transparency, I'm a huge fan of the growler. And when we see a US made, or even like I've been pushing him for, a Best Tech made, whatever it needs to be, growler, I'm in. I think that's a great knife. It just fits my hand. I love the beefy blade. But that's the other knife that I've got inbound, but it'll probably be the end of the month. Let's see what we got next. Dang Ross, what is up? Saying hi to a bunch of people. I love it when y'all are just hanging out. That's why I call it, and I'm sure y'all don't read the description. I rarely do. But you won't find a lot of links there. Not that there's anything wrong with links. That was just kind of an asshole, impulsive Tourette syndrome type of thing to say, but you won't. But I do think that that I put in there community fellowship, right? Because I think when I used to go to Grateful Panic's lives, along with a lot of other lives, I went there for the therapeutic community vibe, right? And there would always be something going on in the periphery, but the overall vibe was that of love. And that's what I kind of fell into more than the knives. The knives, for some reason, were an expensive sub benefit. And is it a benefit? That's yet to be seen. Let's see. Hey guys, are you a mod, Urban Woodsman? Sit there. I'm going to make you a mod so you can throw that link up if you're not. There's Urban Woodsman. No, you're a moderator, buddy. Put your link in there. I know people will know how to find it, but y'all are welcome to throw your links up. So 10:30 Eastern is going to be 9:30 Central. Yep. Next cold steel will be the Finn Wolf. Is that a slip joint, Michael? Oh no, Josh. Lose it or misplace it? Because I misplace knives all the time. And other shit. Cargo channel member saying hello to people. I love it. How far behind am I? It looks like I'm still way behind. That's about right, dude. Because when it clears customs, it still is in a room before it gets released to the post office to start moving again. Safe and Lock Store. I'm not familiar with them, but if they're good, dang Ross, I don't know if you heard my story earlier, my cautionary tale about Knife Fox and me getting swindled out of $98. And now the website's been taken down, but the pictures are still on Google. If you go Google right now, Vox Chillin F8, about the 8th or 9th listing down is knifebox.com, and they scammed me. And there was another site that popped up, and I'm sure Safe and Lock's totally legit, so I'm not saying that at all. I'm just not familiar with them. But my cautionary tale sucked. Dean Griffin, Kungwu Chad on Kickstarter, but it ended today. I'm not sure if I was familiar with that. Welcome, buddy. See, I go to Kungwu's site a lot. I should be more into Kickstarters, but for some reason I'm more patient and want to just kind of wait for it. And I've and I do them all the time. I don't have any now except for the MASH V2, but I've kind of sworn off longer pre-orders just because, like with my Jaeger, I've got enough people, you guys, that we all kind of look out for each other, that inevitably somebody, even though I love it, I know people who it's not for. They've told me, and I get it. They're knives that people love, that are fantastic knives, but that if came into my collection and I had a brother that loved it and I didn't really love it. Thank you, Matisfaction. I didn't even see you guys. I'm so freaking janky, and I see that. Gonna Rye, you guys are too much. I've probably missed a bunch of super chats. Man, Carco, thank you guys. Thank you. Now I don't even know. See, I help the children build the robots. Guys, head over to Josh. Do something that'll make a difference. And I apologize, guys. And Urban Woodsman, I totally get it. That is, everybody's got different jams. That's why, getting back to what I was rambling on, is I'm going to kind of stay away from pre-orders. That way, if it's meant to be, I'll be able to get it, because I usually try pretty hard. There's going to be drops that come around, and yes, you kind of got to be on the ball. And yes, there's a good chance I won't get it. So I see the value in a pre-order, and I would never tell people don't pre-order knives. It's just, for me personally, part of my immediate gratification dopamine deal. If I've got a couple of knives out in pre-order, it just janks everything up. And that's one thing too. Dang Ross, is I had when I first went to get the Pulsar, I had actually preferred, or I thought I preferred, the orange peel, because both of my towels are the orange peel, and I really like the texture, but I could understand how people that are, some people don't like aluminum the way it makes them feel, and I get it. And some people don't like the way that would make them feel, because everything's kind of tactical, right? Sensory. But they didn't have it available. All they had was this diamond titanium, and when it came in, I had absolutely no regrets. I was very, very close and would have no regrets had I gotten the G10. I had to do that way out. Is it worth the extra, I forget how many, 100 or right under 100 for the titanium? For me, it was, but yeah. Josh, we will find you a Taos, okay, brother? I don't have one on me currently, but if it doesn't turn up, you let me know. It's one of those things that's I don't want people to be losing their shit. That sucks. But don't give up on it either, because I've got, not that I'm looking for it anymore, but Kershaw Blur, I think that's the only one that's not where it's supposed to be. Beba Ninja, that's 100% true. And I'll tell you guys, don't do like I did when I first got into it. You can't get them all. It's not worth it. And what I've done recently, and it's probably just, I'm playing psychological tricks on myself. I'm trying to invest in knives that make me happy, but that also, not that I'm ever sell things. I'm more of a hoarder than a knife flipper. I wish I was more of a sell a few knives so I could buy a few knives, sell some knives off to get ready for Blade Show, but my brain doesn't work like that. But I do try to buy more knives that if I need to sell them, I'm not going to be hit at a big loss, because most of the butt knives that I buy, 150 or less, that don't stay in my collection, I'm not going to take the time to sell them. I'm going to usually give them away on the channel. And by now doing spoken videos instead of just shorts. I don't feel a responsibility, but I feel a renewed excitement in getting knives like this, because I remember, I mean, these are such miles above knives I was just getting 2 years ago when I first got into the hobby. So I know how excited I would have been over these. So to buy a knife, even though it might not be something that spins, even though in my pocket right now, because I'm, if you want to call it testing it, I'm testing it. I'm cutting cardboard with it. I've cut some string with it. I've sharpened it once. But, you know, it brings a new excitement to knives for me. So it's kind of a win-win. So, but as a theory, what I'd recommend to you guys is buy what you like. Buy what's coming out, but don't get the fear of missing out, right? Don't feel like just because everybody's talking about a knife or anybody's talking about a knife that you should get it. You know, I mean, there'll always be an opportunity to grab it, right? And you're not missing out on anything. We've all got plenty of knives to get us through the apocalypse, probably. All right, Alex Knives and Such is looking for a Through Night Archer Pro. I'm not sure I know what that is. Let me check it out on Google. Sorry if I'm shaking the camera while I type. Ah, it's a lamp. Nice. That's another rabbit hole I feel fortunate. I feel fortunate not to fall into. I've probably got 5 Lites, Streamlight, Dapper, several Meritechs, but I don't buy them on the constant. And I've gotten to the place where I feel like I've got a lamp for pretty much every occasion. I don't know why I don't feel that way about knives, because I've got 15 for every occasion. I don't know if I've shown this off tonight, but this is probably my latest acquisition via Lefty EDC. My brother on Off the Edge, why it's Off the Edge Lite, because his 350 pounds isn't here hanging with us. If he is, I haven't gotten to his chats yet. But this is the NAF Sergeant, aka Luck Knives Squall in MagnaCut. And if we compare this to the size of the J-Cal, you can see when you look at the handle size to where the choil comes, they're similarly sized knives, right? Blades are different, designs are totally different. But look at the talent that's in this community. I mean, from Joe and Troy and Alice, Ali Perrycord and Mimo, and God, the list goes on and on. ProX. I mean, you got Jason, Brass Brigades. You've got Mike at Luck Knives, NAF Sergeant making cool stuff. He's getting ready to do a drop, by the way. If y'all don't follow Luck Knives on Instagram, I would. He's about to drop some more flat grind MagnaCut and Terravantium little squalls. And he's doing some bigger knives too. Let's see, Fire Ant, wanting a Fire Ant. Josh, I don't know. Is a Fire Ant, is that the little, is that a Kaiser? Guys, you're right. Dopey, I'm glad you're back, buddy. Crispy Critter, I love it. Popping the boomers. Man, I'll tell you what, guys. I love to see that. And I hope it does it for y'all, because it does it for me. When I find that right match of somebody who's needing a knife, and I've got a knife that fits that need, and I can kind of just make it show up there, that's a good thing. Because again, you're bringing somebody into the community. One of the greatest stories and one of the greatest experiences of my life was Jason Brown was a big part of it, but was Blade Show this past year. Hanging out with members of the community who I chatted with, who I'd, been made aware of, but I'd never met anybody. We don't get a chance to meet each other, but we know each other because we share, at least in my experience, everybody's very open with what they're dealing with, good, bad, or indifferent, right? From your baby making it to a robotics championship to some of the terrible shit we deal with. But I remember meeting with everybody, and Saturday night was probably the big night for me because we had dinner together. It was Grateful Panic, the buddy I went with, A to Z EDC, Super Still Steve, Bama Ninja, or Bama Ninja Lee, and I probably just screwed his name up, but Jason Brown, and then Jason Brown brought his best friend, Jason Bird, who you guys have probably seen in the chat, who's a beautiful human being. But he wasn't really into the knife game, right? He just kind of came with Jason because they were best friends. And then Justin from OCD EDC was at dinner, sitting at the other end of the table. Dan, God, I'm drawing a blank for no reason except that I'm brain dead. Dan the Man's, I'll come back to that name. And then me. I think that was it, sitting there. But my point of the story is Jason Bird, like we all did, I didn't know how I was going to feel being around all those people that I was familiar with, like Stevie, like Snuzz, like Manisfaction, like, just the people that Lee from Love Them Knives, Jared, Kara, Cole and Kara. Cole and Kara stayed with us out in the cabin that we stayed in out in LJ, Georgia. So it was just, it was like fellowship on, the cleanest acid ever, right? It was just a beautiful, beautiful time. And to see people that weren't at all interested in these become interested in these because it brings them a community of people that are so giving and good. I know that there are people that aren't giving and good, that are assholes and shysters, but at the same time, it's a great thing. And yeah, you guys make it special, and you don't know how much I appreciate every one of you, but how good it will continue to be, because I really feel, and it has nothing to do with Knives Live or what we're doing with knife rights, but I really think that this community can do so much good. We have the power to do so much good, not just for each other, but for each other spiritually and mentally, that it's only going to continue to grow, right? Urban Woodsman, that sounds delicious. But I'm sorry I go off on rants. Yes, that site, Drinkwater, that site got me on at 6 o'clock in the morning about 2 weeks ago, and I notified PayPal right away, and they told me I was screwed via their app, of course, and haven't gotten a knife yet. And then the Sunday after a week, I was watching Cole's live, Tri-State, and he was doing what he does, looking for knives, kind of searching around, and came across a site with a different URL that was doing the same scammy shit. It looked like it was done by the same person, but they'd finally taken off the Blade HQ backgrounds. So yeah, that sucked. But the way I look at it, I haven't had any knives yet stolen in the mail. I haven't been scammed before yet, before that time. So, it's par for the course. I think I got everybody's carry. I'm still scrolling down, guys. Yeah, beware of anybody that's offering you SEM or SEO to help you rank. Don't buy views. Don't buy subscribers. All of that stuff, anything you do nefariously to your site will come back and burn you in the long run, and it'll hurt. Where if you do things organically, the best way that anybody will find your site or your YouTube channel is to simply keep content up that your audience finds interesting, right? And do it with whether you post once a month or you decide to post once a day, I would tell anybody to start slow, steady, and do things right. And then, I'm still not taking advantage of my descriptions or my tags, tools that YouTube or that Google will give you if you're doing websites, to just like have a blog on your website. Or if you run a blog and you want to drive more traffic to it, keep it fresh, right? And then write with the intent of how you or somebody like you would search for something, right? So I think about how I got into this rabbit hole, was looking for knives. And I go to YouTube and I search for a knife and I'd see Nick Shabazz or I'd see Metal Complex. And I slowly would get in and realize that there were live streams. Maddie, I'm sorry you're not feeling good, buddy. And I know that was probably 2 hours ago and you've probably gone to sleep. But yeah, and I lost my train of thought. But that's good, man. I do hope you get to feeling, brother. Yeah, pump some Powerade. And even I'll tell you what I've taken when I've gotten like stomach sick before is, what's that stuff for kids? Electrolyte, what's that stuff called? Pedialyte. Tastes like yuck, but let's see what we got here. I hate getting hacked. And that's just another part of what we do. I got caught up in the Blade HQ hack last year. I remember they sent an email out that said that they had some site or some cards get compromised or accounts, because I had an account with them, which I probably need to cancel since they tried to do us wrong on the Max Ace Black Mirror until Jared called them to task when he became a affiliate. And they said they wouldn't do that anymore, that it was a mistake. Yeah, I believe that. Yes, guys, I'm telling you, if it sounds too good to be true, and for me in the future, even that Safes, which is a probably totally legit site, if I'm not familiar with it, since I've gotten burned, because I'll tell you, I've got them on my thing here: White Mountain, River's Edge Cutlery, DLT Trading, GP Knives, E-Knives, Knife Center, and yeah, I know E-Knives raises the prices. Blade HQ, yeah, I don't try to buy from them anymore. But River's Edge Cutlery, Smoky Mountain Knife Works. So that usually, in that little universe, unless I have to go to Arizona Custom Knives, which I don't, because that would be crazy because it costs me too much money, I can pretty much find what I'm looking for, or the Amazon, right? So if I come across another site in the future, like I did when I came to Fox Knife, even if it's the same price or $20 less, you can better bet, and nobody puts their phone numbers on their websites, but I'm going to do my due diligence, because when I Googled Fox Knives and scams, it didn't come up as a scam site with reviews of people saying it was a scam, but it was flagged by Google. And one of the reasons for possibly being flagged was because of knife content. But had I looked into it more, now what I know, it's probably because they knew they were doing shady shit. First of all, I should know better than you can not buy a knife with PayPal. Duh. I went and bought a fucking fake knife with PayPal, right? So we don't always think clearly when it's early in the morning. I don't know if y'all are like me. I wake up, or used to. I've tried to stop now because of that experience partially, and also because I don't need to buy knives before I'm awake. It's just not a smart thing to do, even though I've got some really good knives early in the morning that I have no memory of. But yeah, it's one of those things. Atlantic is a very good company, and I've bought knives from them before. And after I went to their website and looked at my pyrite again, I know they're totally legit. I do think that Brother Big Red, got an updated version that hopefully CJRB listened to my review before I even did the review and realized there were a better way to do scales than just a simple overlay. But again, the simple overlay, I would pay $67 for it again, because it's a great, great, great knife. Dean, you do have it? Does yours have that the scale that kind of sits proud of the liner? Or is yours look? Dean Knock, have a good night, buddy. You've probably already gone, and I didn't get to say goodbye and happy Easter to you. I'm sorry, dude. I'm scrolling down to try to get to where we're, yes, reputable dealers. And guys, if y'all are like me, I will pay for shipping. So if I won't take the free shipping and I'll pay $4 like an idiot for the same time of shipping, right? Um, I don't mind paying $10 more for a knife to actually get the knife. And that's why I don't mind doing business with River's Edge Cutlery or DLT, even if their knives are slightly more, which they're not. I'm not implying that they are. But to me, I like, because I'm impatient, but I like somebody that ships the knife. If I buy it in the morning, I get a shipping confirmation that afternoon. I think that's pretty cool. It tells me that they're a small business, that they're receptive to their customers. And Blade HQ and Knife Center and Smoky Mountain Knife Works are totally legit. Because I'll tell you the other story of that is Smoky Mountain Knife Works. That's where I order all my pew pew ammo from. So it always comes next day, but the way that it works is it has to come a different carrier. So it comes FedEx, has to. I pay for that because the shipping, even though I save money, the shipping's very expensive, but it stays in processing for about 30 hours. So when I get the confirmation number, it shows up the next day. And they're only one state over. But still, the bigger companies, if you have to process orders, and I know a small company could have to process orders because Atlantic Knives, that's very reputable, they sat on the knife for 4 days, which I thought was a little excessive. I won't say anything about that in my video, but I like when you order something, and here I'm saying that, and I've got a bunch of giveaway knives that I haven't shipped out, so screw me. Yeah, Will B, River's Edge is great. They're great. They ship to me fast, and I'm in Alabama. So, I think there's a lot to do with the processing. All right, Dean, so you got your pyrite from Artisan Cutlery. Does yours have a discernible sandwich line where you can see the scale on top of the liner? Or does yours look like big reds that looks like my Asher? Let me grab it so I can show y'all what I mean. Sorry about that, guys. I hope I didn't lose all y'all. But see, my Asher Nomad, one of my top 10 knives, fantastic value. You can see that the scale is just titanium. Now, it might have an inset liner, but when I look at this, it's milled out titanium, as it should be. And my pyrite, which is, I'm not mad at it. Again, if this is the way it is, I know that the one Jody showed me looked like this. So my camera's probably not doing it justice, but that's the difference that I see. Let's see if I turn that down. But still getting a glare on it where you really can't see. There you go. You can see the displacement and the scale on the liner versus the titanium on the Nomad. So I just found it kind of interesting, So I'm curious if yours is the one you got from Artisan is like Jody's that looks solid. I hear you, buddy. I live with that, but I won't cancel it. But I do remember I wake up to confirmations all the time. Cheeto Bandito, that sucks, but they're really legit, and I had to deal with the same thing with them for something that wasn't their fault. It was my fault on why I returned it, but it seemed to take a little while, but I did get refunded. Interesting, Josh. And that makes me, I got a new channel member. Okay, see, I'm not doing my job. Blue Creek Knives. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, dude. I appreciate your support, man. I love your stuff, and I'm sorry I didn't buy that Jack Wolf when I had it in the cart at your site, but I was trying to practice self-control and prove that I wasn't just a totally addict. But Josh, that more makes me think that why would you have something? I can understand being small. Christine and Peter do some dealing with knives, and I know that our buddy Justin at OCD sells some knives, and who does great customer service, by the way. But that makes it even more surprised that they haven't responded to the emails that me and the other gentleman that I'm working with have called just to ask about the CERB pyrite. But interesting, that would piss me off too if I drove 3 hours, because I love having it hanging out. Joe's clip slips fits the hedgehog. Sweet. Did y'all see that he had some on the site? They probably won't be there when I get off. Let's just go there now. Hold on a second. Share it with you guys. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Look at our favorite people. Whoops, I went the wrong way. I want to go to Joe's store. That's where I want to go. Guys, I should know better, but I always go by my beard oil. I think, and from Forest. Let's see, accept cookies. Can y'all see this? Sold out. I love his clips. I mean, really, guys. $60 from Joe for handmade goodness, or you can spend $30, get a nice slip, but it's not the same. Because look, that clip has got to be $35, $40. We've all bought Lite clips before. And this, guys, is absolutely awesome. My buddy A to Z EDC, and I could be telling a fib here, but I don't think so, sent Joe his XO when he first got it way back when, and Joe designed that slip from scratch. And my buddy A to Z just loves it. Look at that. I love that spoon clip. Like I said, guys, we've got some talented people in the community, and the EDC Roundtable, this is just... Grateful Panic has one of those here with his logo on it. And if I got one, like I told Joe on my sheath, the only thing I want on it is that. His maker's mark. Just an awesome mat, guys. It's so thick, and it's so well done. I could gush over it. But I'm going to come back to y'all. I'm going to find out where we are in the chat, because I've been blowing people off. Yeah, Dean, EDC Roundtable, buddy. I'm going to put it in the comments here. You can find Joe there. You can find Stevie's beard oil. You can find Forrest Hanks. I've done business with them many, many times. This is where my from some stuff would be. Yeah, I thought, hey, Junior Miz, I don't think they mean anything by it, guys. It's just when you get big, the little people, I don't think they consciously do it. I just think that they get busy in their stuff, right? And the bigger you are as a company, the harder it is to be agile and the harder it is to care about people, which I think sucks. That's why Blue Creek Knives, Brian, people that are in the community that are making goods or selling goods, Justin, Brian, then you've got OCD for EDC, and when I say Justin, White Mountain Knives, people that, do stuff for us. I like to do business with people. Absolutely, guys. It's not just that, but what you find is people that are making things for people in the community that they, whether you love like I love, which is everything, you love people, you don't want to let them down. So you're probably going to get work that is at such a higher level. As a matter of fact, I know that you will, because I've got it sitting all around me, and then I've got some that's not. But yeah, it's just the only way to go. Dang, Ross, that's true. And we've got a couple here in Athens. We used to have one in Huntsville, but in Athens, which is about 30 miles away where my brother Dark Gravity lives, we have St. Nick's Knives. And they're really good about hooking you up with stuff. And as a matter of fact, they don't carry Brian Brown knives, but Dylan, their buyer who works there, kind of like Chaz with Sharp Objects did with my 9, had bought this EDC Specialties Jaeger, and he'd bought a knife jaw Jaeger, or one of the other configurations, and he didn't want them both, and he decided on the other one. And I happened to be out at St. Nick's, and we were talking about knives, Grateful Panic, A to Z EDC, Bama Ninja. Timmy was out there with us, and one other, Dark Gravity. And we were talking to Dylan, and he showed me he had his Jaeger, and let me see it. And I was like, dude, I love that knife. I just missed out on the drop, but I'd love to have one. He was like, hey man, I've got one for sale. I was like, dude, I can't get it for 2 weeks. He's like, I'll hold it for you. So I'm just saying, I mean, it's great to have a local store. And then we've got, what's John's store called? There's a Benchmade dealer here in town too, whose name escapes me, who also carries Spyderco, but Benchmade's where he shines, and in estate knives. I'm scared to go back out there because he has so many fixed blades and so many by local makers and so many slip joints. I mean, Josh, it's funny you say that, because I'm diagnosed, and I was diagnosed at 46 years old. I struggled with it. I led to my addiction and my alcoholism, but that's in the past, hopefully for good. But I've got disabilitating ADHD and didn't find out till I was 46. But I wonder, because I've talked to a lot of content creators who are brothers of mine, and they also suffer from it. So I wonder how prevalent it is in the community, because that makes perfect sense, right? I think a lot of it for me was just waiting for the knife to get here, having something always inbound or incoming, getting that email inbound. I'd be like, oh, yay. It's true, Louie, and that sucks, But again, that's why those little experiences are similar to mine with the other big manufacturer, where I know I'll have to buy from them again. I almost bought the battle bar from them, that little tie connector. Not tie connector. That's the little bit bar that the company that Lefty used to do business with, Beyond ED, not Beyond. Anyway, there was a little bit bar. They had it in stock for $100. I thought about it for a second, but I'm like, nah, screw that. I'm not doing business with them. Joshua Wilson's carried his Quiet Carry 9 Blackout with black camo fat carbon today. Cheers, brother. And I wasn't bad talking the fat carbon. It was just, it at first didn't really jam with me. And then when Chaz made this available and gave me the option, mine's all smutsy because I've been cutting with it. But I love this knife. It's a great knife. And Maddie, I'm just now getting to you, buddy, who doesn't feel good, but he uses Valor to open a package. I hope you got something fun, man. I hope something good came to you. Or to Mini or Micro. Josh B., someone just had a serious complaint warning about Lynn. I think it was Tim B. Might be wrong, but it was a credible person. Interesting. Was that a video, El Cap Addict, or did you see it on Instagram? Because again, and I don't mind talking to y'all about it, but I bought the Predator from them. It's been great. I've never had a bad retail experience with them, but I always got a weird sus vibe watching their YouTube channel. And that's just me. I got a weird vibe about him and her. I don't know why. And that's just, I shouldn't even say that because that's me being subjective. But it wouldn't surprise me. And I will flame them honestly in my review because I can only be honest with my review. So if I'm suspicious, not that I think they did anything wrong, because I don't know, they don't have the time or talent, because I took the scale off, like I said, or attempted to see if it was titanium. I was able to get the pocket clip screws out and the body screw. This isn't a captivated pivot. It's hardware on both ends, but it's Loctite. I had my Weehaw stubby T8, and it was so tight that I was thinking I was going to strip it. So I said, screw that. And I just shifted the scale ever so slightly to check it for magneticness, and it wasn't really magnetic. So I'm convinced it's the titanium skin, and I'm convinced that they couldn't have modded it, but I'm not convinced that they couldn't have gone out and had an opportunity to buy a shitload of these, the ones that were left over, and sell them, because the reason I bought this knife and became aware of this knife is at some point when I bought from them, I was signed up for their email, and I got their email blast showing this knife in titanium, and I went right then and impulse bought it. So I work in marketing. I think I told you guys, I'm a digital marketing. I don't do email marketing. That's invasive. I do more consumer friendly stuff, so that when you go to websites or you search for knives, you see knives that you've been interested in before or that kind of fit what your content consumption is like. But I'm convinced that that's the only reason I bought this knife, was because I got the email. I was interested in it anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did something sus, but I'll also call them out on it. That sucks, budget guy. And I'll tell y'all another secondhand cautionary tale. And the only reason I feel comfortable telling it is I told y'all earlier in the live about I had a two ProTech Malibus. I had one that I'd gotten that I chased. Thank you, Lefty EDC. I appreciate you, brother. I'm so far behind in the chats, but I appreciate you, man. We've been talking about, I've been talking about how your authentic excitement or disgust makes you a very effective and transparent, incredible reviewer. And we were talking about Atlantic knives. You were probably here for that, though. I'm not going to rehash the old, but thank you, brother. I appreciate you. So I had the Malibu, and then I had the textured Malibu that I picked up, and there was no need for me to have two, and I knew somebody wanted it, so I put it up for sale on my Instagram, and Semper Fi, brother Vince, wanted it, and so I didn't realize at the time, but he was doing he was getting it to have it modded and do a giveaway, because that's how he rolls. But instead of me shipping it to him, he had me ship it to Weigh a Knife because he had plans for it, right? So, and I'm not saying anything negative about Weigh a Knife, because what they did with this knife was absolutely awesome. I mean, they took a black Malibu aluminum and made it look totally sculpted, black washed it, made it, I can show y'all probably pictures of it. But in either case, he contacted me. He's like, hey man, did you have any problems with the blade on that? Because when you sent it to me, the blade looked clean. I said, no man, the blade was fine. It works great. Why? He goes, because it's all chippy. I'm like, what do you mean it's chippy? Well, they did something to the blade. When you look at the pictures, if I can find it, they did a treatment, kind of like Jason Grant does on the top of the spine. You know, they did some really cool stuff, and they stone washed it, blasted it and stuff, but then they had to resharpen it. And he was very, very disappointed with it. And I said, no, man, I promise when it left me, it was good. He goes, I don't doubt that. You know, you sent it to Weigh a Knife. But the only reason I say that is I've never personally done business with them, but I know they sell really nice stuff, and I haven't heard anything bad about them. But I know that there was somebody who was dissatisfied with the part of the job that I would think would be the easy part, sharpening it, right? Yeah, absolutely. Todd, you're in Canada, right? Yeah, White Mountain Knives is totally good. DLT, I mean, top notch, top notch. I use their website and their descriptions in my videos anytime I can. And just because I think that A, their descriptions are good, B, if somebody's going to go get the knife and they've got it in stock, I know that they're going to get treated well. Rivers Edge Cutlery is the same way. I don't know why. Maybe because they're smaller. Knife Joy has been a joy to do business with. They don't always have what I want. Knives Plus, I've gotten scales from them. I mean, a lot of people don't even know about them. Modded Spydercos and stuff. And I bought regular knives from them, and they're just great. They ship good. And the other thing that you might notice in my unboxing, and if you don't watch it, I don't blame you, but I got my Atlantic Knives Pyrite, opened it up. It was a box inside an envelope and no swag. And I was like, so I didn't have swag. So I jokingly said in the unboxing, well, I'm not going to talk about where I got it. So when I started doing the first impressions unboxing, I wanted to cut with it. So the only thing I could cut that I had close to me was the receipt. So I did it upside down and I cut off the corner where their name was because I knew that was the corner. I could kind of see it through it. And so when I cut that corner, I flipped it over and you saw the back part of Knife Co. And then I flipped the other one over to kind of give them what would have been a sticker, right? To give them a little who the fuck sent me this knife. But I thought that was kind of funny. But I laugh at myself. Nobody else does. Let's see. Okay, they're legit. Yeah, Josh. Like I said, I'm sus because I got that email, went and bought it, and maybe if it was old, it's still fine. Just say so. Don't do shady sus stuff. All right, I'm looking it up right now. Mm, mm, mm. Is this it? Tell me if this is the bad boy right here. Not that I'll be able to see that. Let me see how far down I am. Thank you, Forrest. I'll check them out here in just a second. Hey, budget guy. Making sure. Oh, Josh Branson, dude. That's awesome, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you, dude. So is this the Ethan Grow? I just got to it, but I'm not sure if this is it or not. It looks kind of like looks stridery, or it looks like something that Satu would have. I love it, but it doesn't look original. But that is a chunk of titanium. How long is it? 9 inches. Nice. 4-inch blade. So it's big Medford size. Interesting. Guys, I don't know if y'all have ever seen this, since we're talking about big overbuilt knives. Have you seen the Tucson TS346? This thing's on washers. Big D2 Hoss. I think I picked this up for 90 bucks. T8 barrel hardware. I mean, done really well. And to me, it doesn't really look like, it looks like a kind of generic knife, but it's just a chunk of titanium. And, when you get those little Tucson boxes, if y'all have ever gotten them, they're such small, dainty boxes that I got the little dainty box that was literally just about as big as this, but the box was so heavy because this knife, in the review or the unboxing, I don't think I've done a review on it yet. I don't have a weight, so I just dropped it from about 6 inches so you can hear the thud. It shakes the camera. But yeah, the TS and White Mountain Knives is where I get all my Tucsons, unless I get them from OCD for EDC. But this is the TS 346. And they also, I've noticed White Mountain's gotten several of these in. The clip works great. I love the big pivot on it. I've never had to adjust it because it's on washers. But they've also got it in anodized tie. And it's a Hoss. But I like that F and Grow. It just looks kind of, or Ef and Grow, it just looks kind of sus, kind of like a Strider. And I'm probably getting it wrong because it looks like something. But it's a cool knife. All right, what did I miss? Oh, we got a member. Y'all, thank you guys. Oh, that's Blue Creek up there. Thank you, Blue Creek. Add you as a moderator. In case you want to ever add links during the live to stuff you got going on. Yeah, Todd, was that Smoky Mountain or was that Atlantic? Because the complaint I got about Atlantic today, through my correspondence with brother Big Red, and a gentleman he put me in touch with who was kind of having an issue, had reached out to him on social media, and evidently he started middle of last week. And the only reason he's given him the benefit of the doubt is with it being the week of Easter and Good Friday, you know, they could be tied up in that, and that could be totally understandable. But he's had radio silence, and he was just asking the same question, and he sent him pictures of Big Red's and pictures of his, and he was just trying to find out if his was legit, which again, this knife I would highly recommend exactly like it is, unless I knew that if you waited, well, you can't get them at Atlantic Knives anymore. So hopefully all this version are off the market. But yeah, they just kind of gave me the willies on their live stream. Or not their live stream, their y'all throw that link up there again. Most of you guys should be mods. If not, let me know and I'll make you a mod. Sharp Guys, PM2, his favorite Spidey. I like it. PM2, I've got 3 of them and absolutely love it. I don't know if you're asking me, but I started out with a Spyderco, the rod system, right? Because I didn't have any idea what I was doing. And that system works well. I bought the diamond rods for it and the extra fine rods for it. So I used that for a while. I've still got it. I'll probably put it up for sale because I don't use it. Then I got the Work Sharp. And I love the Work Sharp because watching Brother Jared Neve's channel, he talked about that little extender that would allow you to use KME size stones. And so I got one of those little extenders. And then I got one of the little $4 feet that you can put under the clamp to make it not shake. And I used my iPhone as an angle gauge, and I was doing great with that. I even got down to where I ordered one of the 3D printed little triangle things that you can put on the Work Sharp, and then allows you to attach lapping films to them. But what I wasn't able to moderate there was the angle depth difference between like an Atomi diamond plate and like a Veneve double-sided diamond stone, right? The thickness is a lot more. So I would just kind of have to go with it. Well, I heard about through Brother Neves the TS Profs, right? And went to Gritomatic and started watching them. And I got one of the original TS Prof Blitzes, not the Blitz 360, but by the time it was over, the accessories I bought for it made it a Blitz 360, if that makes sense. I've got the little rotating height adjustable that I'll never need part, and then I've got the angle gauge stand. But what I love about it and why I think it's the best value for me is when the Work Sharp's fine, right? It's going to do pretty much everything you need. But when I was getting ready to sharpen knives that I didn't necessarily feel super comfortable sharpening because I had more invested in them, I had a couple of conversations because Brother Neves will help you with information, right? He wasn't trying to sell anything. I didn't use any affiliate link. He was just giving me information. He was telling me how you can set. There's a dial on there where not only can you set your angle, and I get my angle set to 17 degrees so that everything is going to be at 17 degrees, right? I do that off of the rod itself. And then the thickness of your stones, there's another little dial that's like, I don't know the exact measurement, but every click of it, it's got tactile clicks. Click, click, click. It goes from 0.05 to, I want to say it's tiny little increments, right? So if I've got a 6 millimeter Atomi stone, you set it to 6, click. And then if you go to Gritomatic, or if you've got your calipers, you can find out how thick your Veneve stones are. And they're 8 in this case. So I'll use my Atomi, I'll have it set at 6, 17 degrees. I'll get that done, flip the knife, it's got a little thing that flips it, right? So do the other side. And then when I take out my Atomi stone, which is thinner, and go to put in my thicker Veneve stone, there's that little fine-tune dial where I go click, click, and take it from 6 to 8. And it's perfect. I mean, the edges that I get. And again, I'm not a good sharpener, guys. I can't do anything. I can strop with this knife. Whoops, sorry about that. There's a little piece of paper. Make sure I don't give anybody's name that I've got to send something to. I hit the paper weird. So I like to keep my knives, unless they're hinderers, at 17 degrees. And I wasn't sure how to sharpen my hinderer, so I reached out again. Sorry about that view, guys. But I reached out to Brother Neves to get an angle to start with on my hinderers, and he set me up with 20 degrees, and I was able to get all of my thick, allegedly low heat treated. I say that with jest because I know they are lower than people like, but this knife, or these knives, cut great when you put an edge on them. Whoops, as I double clutch it. And this is the Jurassic. I'm a fan of US knives, and I like hinderers, and I used to not. I was one of those guys that was never had any affection for hinder at all. And Brother Dark Gravity changed my mind on that, and he didn't do it intentionally. He just gave me the opportunity to carry a 3-inch. Jeffrey Dawson's got his PM2 and S90V, M4, 15V, and Crutter. That's sweet, man. I love an S90V, PM2, and I wish my Tonto was the Blade HQ. Didn't they do the Tonto and M4? Joshua's the Tanto, beautiful dude. I love it. I love it. Congratulations on that Mini Evo. It's a beautiful knife. Pat, I don't know how old that is. Glad you're here, buddy. And I'm an hour behind? Surely not. God, y'all, I'm way. All right, I'm fast forwarding. Carco, I bet y'all have all left. All right, I'm going down to the bottom here. There's Lefty. Guys, I apologize. Officer of NAFS, channel member, how are you, brother? Welcome, welcome. I have not been ignoring you guys. That's 11:58. We're at 12:14, so I'm still way behind. All right, I'm scrolling. Truer words, I think about, and you guys are all too young to know this, but there was a Life cereal commercial where these kids were eating cereal, right? And y'all Google it. Mikey likes it. Hey, Mikey likes it. Google that. Because that reminds me of Lefty, because Mikey's the finicky little eater brother, right? And they all say they get this new cereal and they're like, hey, we're not going to try it. The two older brothers, let's give it to Mikey. Mikey won't eat it. Mikey hates everything, and they slide it over and then Mikey eats it and he's liking it. And they're like, hey, Mikey, he likes it. And they grab the cereal. It's a great commercial. But I think about that with Kevin. So when I see Kevin get legitimately fired up about a knife, like this knife, the Asher Nomad, which is, again, one of my top 10 knives, I could tell it was legit excitement from somebody who's very hard to please, right? So to me, that's just kind of a testament to yay. And we will be giving this knife away, guys. So don't let me forget that. And what I probably ought to do, see who else I missed. Guys, I am so sorry I got so far behind. Yes, Z-Man, Nice Plus is awesome. Dean Griffin, new member, thank you, brother. Welcome, welcome. We've got a lot of channel members in here, guys. I appreciate y'all's support so much, and even everybody that's here. So I'm going to get down. God, I'm so far behind. I've got to get a better system for this. But it's tough. Maybe if I could get it where I could get everybody on screen. That's why I used to think that Clubhouse would be a great thing for us to use as a knife community. And I still might try to colonize that. For those of you who don't know, Clubhouse is a thing that you can have these like phone calls or a live stream where you've got 10 people talking and you've got 100 people in the audience, and somebody can raise their hand in the audience and you can let them talk, and then people actually communicate, but there's no video with it yet. But it's cool. So what I'm going to do, y'all talk amongst yourselves while I find this giveaway tool. And I'm not saying that I'm about to blow y'all off and leave. I'm not saying that. I just don't want to forget. So if I get it up collecting comments, we'll come up with something to hashtag. All right, and when I do the hashtag, I don't do any caps to make it easy for you guys, so that you guys can not worry about any caps. It's all lowercase, and I'm about to share the screen, and that's going to be what we're doing. Is we're going to give away the Kaiser Lot Dend Mini, and you'll get swag with that, of course. So here's our StreamYard tool. And in honor of Lefty not being able to join us, we're going to have Off the Edge be what we put in. 420 would have been a good one, Dean. My favorite time of day, favorite month and year. But Off the Edge, whenever you guys get time, we'll let that fill up with people. We're not going to draw right away, but I'm going to leave it up here, and then I'm going to go back to me on the screen so we can talk, but it'll still be collecting comments. So you guys just keep putting your Off the Edge in there once. Since it's a knife, it'll be USA shipping only. You do have to be 18 or have your parents contact me. So I check all that when somebody wins and we do the email. That's another thing that slows me down. Most people that win, I know who they are. So yes, use the hashtag. So you'll put the hashtag in and you'll put the exactly like it says up there. You'll copy it just like that. I like that, Pat. Always better safe than sorry. True, Satisfaction. We've got to be careful with the hashtag on things that aren't our computer. Although I've noticed that my computer, my work computer, which is kind of a creepy computer anyway, it knows where I am, of course, but it has this little 911 thing. When I log in remotely, it hooks me up to some 911 system. And I don't think that's, I love it, Nuts for Knives. Welcome, buddy. I didn't see you earlier. If you just got here, if you've been here, I love you, dude. I'm glad you're here. Kyle Cooley playing for Branson. Y'all doing something nice for somebody. You guys rock. I'm telling you, this community just warms my heart, and y'all make it fun. You make this gig fun. NFK. What you talking about, Willis? Thank you, brother. Nuts for Knives. Sharp Guy's playing for Officer Nass, and Officer Nass playing for Crispy Critter. Look at you guys. You guys are just too good. That was my comment on what you were talking about, Willis, but I was trying to find out what oh, there you go. Nuts for Knives. Thank you, Satisfaction. Y'all know I'm very squirrel-like. Y'all check this out. And I do not have my chickadee here, but I do have... Nope. The scab healed. Kyle Coonley is a master sharpener. I will tell you... Shane, what's up, buddy? I texted you earlier. Hold on 1 second, guys. All right. Sorry about that. I'm so bad at correspondence, guys. I apologize. Who won? I know you were watching that, buddy. I don't even know who was fighting tonight, but I love watching clips of almost anybody because to me it's such an art. I was a little mini-my high school wrestler, 4-year letterman. I was super competitive. I went to wrestling camps in Virginia every summer, and that's I was a 98 pounder, then a 105 pounder, then a 112 pounder, and graduated as a 121. And I would cut anywhere from 8 to 15 pounds every year and have to keep it off for 14 weeks, 16 weeks, something like that. It was about a 3.5, 4 month season. and it was brutal. So I definitely respect A, anybody making weight, and B, going full hardcore combat. I mean, wrestling was tough enough. I got my brains beat out, and I was good and got my elbow hyperextended. So Izzy knocked him out, won the belt back. Was it quick, or what? Did you get to see some punishment? Did it go several rounds? You know, that's another thing too. I think it's kind of hard, Shane, isn't it, to see that stuff on YouTube, like clips, because I notice you don't see much of that. You'll see what they want to release, but I'd probably have trouble going out to see that. Oh, I'm sorry. Y'all don't just watch it live? See, I figured. I'm sorry. Now I feel like a jerk on several levels. How many comments we got? Ed, unfortunately, we have come to the determination that it was a scam. I don't know if you guys were here earlier, but let's do this real quick. Let me show you something. We'll share my screen, and then we're going to go back to the giveaway tab, and we're going to let somebody win. But check this out. So Google still has the website right here. That's the one I fell for right there. See, I visited that page 4823. That's the last time I went, which was today. But when we try to visit the page now, Ruh-roh, Reggie. John's not getting his knife. That $98 was way too good of a deal. He should have known better. He should have known better when it went to PayPal, because he should have known that PayPal doesn't let you transact on knives, but it was a good deal. So Javon went to PayPal, and then it turned into friends and family, and John, by this time at 6:15 in the morning, completed his purchase to get greeted with nothing but an email with some multicolored silverware. Yes, only buy knives, only buy knives from people that you can check. Shane, did you happen to see the beginning of said faction last night? I don't think you were there when Katie was holding the bag and Eli was Joe Rogan kicking it and punching it with power. I'm telling you, he's going to be a black belt before Blade Show next year. All right, we got 34 of you entered, and we've got 58 in here. So I know some of y'all are probably listening, but I want everybody who I know, who's familiar, who's interested, to get a chance at the Lite Mini. Now, the Lite Mini is not as tiny as one might think, even though it's called a Mini. Hold on one second. So it's just a little bit smaller than the Bug Out. Handle's about the same size. The blade's a little thinner, and it's a liner lock. And not to, if Zach's in here, it's not anything like a Benchmade, but it's a nice little knife. And again, I like the multiple deployments. I like the G10 on it. I'm not 100% crazy about the G10 stripe, but what they've done superbly is inset that. There is absolutely no displacement where they inset that white G10, and the action is fall shut. There's no blade wiggle, no up and down. Shane, if you haven't registered, you want to register for this, buddy. Let me see how many people we got. $35 of y'all have entered. Off the edge. Hashtag off the edge. If you've seen Eli's kicks last night, Shane, I don't think compression socks are going to protect your shins. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Do something real quick, guys. Y'all put in Leland Phil. What is up, buddy? Off the tank. So Shane, you can't watch replays of those fights you still have to pay for them, right? Don't they kind of have that locked up? That's why I won't see highlights or anything on the YouTubes unless they're a real old fight or greatest knockouts or things like that I watch. Shane's going to need them because Eli's going to be kicking those legs like a cracked up ninja beating a snare drum. Cool, buddy. I sent you. Yeah, I agree with you, Crispy. That to me, I think they're very talented, and I'm amazed by their skill, but it's hard for me to watch. And that's just the dude in me. I don't, buddy. But I tell you what I do have is I have their wireless, but I'm not able to get stuff like that. Dude, it's been brutal. I have come out on the ass end. Yeah, but I mean, I'll be honest with you. When I first started watching MMA, when it first came out, I had a really hard time watching it because it was so much more than I'd seen watching boxing growing up and wrestling, you know, watching college wrestling and stuff like that. I was just like, holy shit, because I know how bad it hurts to have your ears wrenched off. And I know the things that we couldn't do that were illegal, like a full Nelson or choking somebody out, you know, it's just, I was just like, wow. And then to have to get pounded on, I mean, I was just like, holy shit. But watching women do it is tough. Brother Doom. Hello, man. Welcome to Sunday morning. Happy Easter, everybody. Happy freaking Easter. I'm going to have to throw some rabbits up in the chat. Rock with some rabbits. And see, I've got my rabbits ready. Happy Easter, guys. Hope you find all your eggs. I'm going to be chillaxing. I'm going to be sleeping late. And then Grateful Panic and I are heading over to my mom's to eat some dinner. It's going to be low key. They'll have a couple of peanut whiskeys. And I'll sit there with my Dr. Pepper. I love it, guys. How many people have signed up for our little giveaway here? All right, we're at 40. So Bearded Doom got in. Good. Bearded Doom, just so you know, it's the Kaiser Lot Bend Mini. Front flipper and a low profile flipper that doesn't give you a pocket picker, as Nick Shabazz would say. I think it's N690, but I'm not sure. It is N690. And it's just drop shut. Great detent. Great little neutral knife. I'll try to find, it'll definitely be in a Kaiser box, but will it be in this particular box? I've got to get all the boxes out of my closet and put them on my bed and go through and categorize them. Because I think I've shipped 2 knives in their original boxes, and I've got original boxes for everything because I'm a pack rat. And I keep that shit. Y'all are funny. All right, guys, we are getting ready. We've got 41 of y'all have entered. I'm going to give it like 30 seconds. And I'm on this other page, so I'm not watching the chat, but I'm counting down. 29, 28, 27, 26. Now I'll do it in silence for a while. I'll tell you when I get to 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Anybody else off the edge? Hashtag, here we go. Boom. Dissident. You in here, Dissident? Paging Dissident. I need to hear from Dissident, or we're going to have to draw again. There he is. Send it to BNA. Guys, I don't do acronyms. Help me out, Dissident. I'll send it to whoever you want me to, guys. What I'll do is I'm going to put BNA, brand new American, absolutely. See, I don't do acronyms, and I know brand new American. Congratulations, brand new American. And congratulations, Dissident, for doing something kind for somebody, buddy. If you send me, when I put this email address in here, if you'll send me your address too, I'll send you a swag pack with something extra. So if both of you dudes will email me here, make sure I spelled it right. You can send me a DM on Instagram, but I will reply to it with that email. That's funny, Zach. Z-Man. I thought it was Zach for sure. That's hilarious. Well, you guys were all witness to that, but what I was going to say is you can Instagram DM me, but I would send it back saying, please send it to my email so I can keep up with it. I flag those. Absolutely. Absolutely, dang Ross. Anytime y'all get it. Yeah, I agree. Not that that's a bad thing at all. Um, yeah, Z man, I don't know if you were here. I think you were, but I actually was looking around 10:30 because I kept waiting for SKL's live to come up. When Lefty and I talked earlier, I wasn't going to go live at the normal time because Duty was live, Metal Complex was live, and Jared was live. So I figured 10 o'clock would be good because that would give me till like 11:30. I wasn't planning on doing a 3-hour live tonight. I was just going to do it for, an hour and a half just to give us that little window to whoever wanted to come by and hang out until they came on. So when I got that text and I looked down, I had a text from my daughter, a text from Shane because I texted him earlier. And then that text, I was like, oh shit. Zach moved his live because I was still going live. And I go, that can't be right. Because when I was looking, it was well before 12. So yeah, you got me on that one, buddy. Pretty Tank got fingered. All right, guys. I'm not saying all right, guys, like I'm getting ready to blow y'all off. I'm just saying all right, guys, because I'm going to drop that screen up and tell Dissident and Brand New American congratulations. And if both of you guys will email me your addresses, that would be huge. Well, he was, and what he did is I went to YouTube because I'd been looking for that tile, and I saw that he'd put up the tile for tomorrow because when we looked at it earlier in the live, it was going to be going live, I think, in 14 hours. Let's see. I'll show you what I did. Where is... How did I do it? I went over here like this. And then I went like this. So that's why I was surprised big time when you sent me that text, Z-Man. Because I was like, all right, guys, let's see. They're going to be live 13 hours. When's that? So yeah, I was like, okay. And then when you texted me, I started, of course, doubting myself. Like, did I read that wrong? Did Zach end up having to move his live? Blade Ogre, thank you for coming, buddy. Thank y'all for hanging out late with me. I'm going to stay on here for a few more minutes, probably to run it out to 3 hours since I've been in here for 2 hours and 43 minutes. And, well, gosh, who's going to go live in the morning? Somebody told us they were going early tomorrow morning. Earlier in the chat. God. Night budget guy. Oh, Kyle. Good point. I think is Brand New American's not in here. So I think what we should do is when he emails me or when Dissident emails me his address, why don't we give him the opportunity for that, Kyle? What do you think? Or should we get everybody should we do another giveaway for just a sharpening? I'll let the chat decide what they want to do. Because I'm game either way. Yeah, Urban at 10 a.m. Eastern, which is 9. That's right. Thank you for reminding me of that, Crispy Critter. You guys are killing me with the taints. So are we gonna yeah, Kyle has offered up a sharpening, guys, to the winner, and I did not mention that before I did the drawing. So we can offer that to Brand New American or to Dissident, or if y'all want to, we can do a sharpening giveaway that we'll just call. I'll get Kyle to spell Cleaning Works for me, and we'll have that be our hashtag. See, I figure y'all would volunteer to win a sharpening, and I think anybody in here who knows Kyle who wants a sharpening, there's still 54 of you guys in here. I'm all up for doing a, all right, Dissident says throw an edge on it. So Kyle, how about if I send you the knife and then I PayPal you or I email you and PayPal you to ship it out to Edgy American? Do you want to do that? That would be pretty cool. I could send it to you with a bunch of swag, so you could get some swag too, and then I'll just PayPal you whatever shipping is to send it to Brand New American. What do y'all think about that? I want to get a consensus. You tainterific people. Night, Doom. Are you leaving me, buddy? Have a good night, man. I hope I see you tomorrow. I know I'll see you Friday. Okay, that's about the best one. Yep. That's what we're going to do. We're going to, I'll reach out to Kyle Coonley and get his address and this particular knife. And by God, I need to write this shit down. Hold on, guys. Where's the best? I got his email. And let's do Lite. Dissident won it. He gifted it to our brother Brand New American. And Kyle Coonley's donating an edge. I think that'd be cool to do, guys, for me to send it to Kyle, have him sharpen it up, and then have it get out to our brother Brand New American. I like that idea. Okay, that's the best one so far. Good night, Junior Miz. Happy Easter, buddy. That absolutely works, Kyle. That works like a champ, brother. I'll throw my email back in there again, or you can DM me and I'll put it in there. And you can just shoot me your address, man. And we'll, I appreciate you doing that. That makes it extra special because, again, the chickadee that I picked up from Lefty, having your edge on it, to quote Cole, chef's kiss, dude. Absolutely chef's kiss. And I sharpened my S90V chickadee on my TS Prof, and that is no easy trick. I mean, the edge you put on the MagnaCut one is hands and fists, just amazing edge. That's a good one there. Edgy's coming in hot in the 11th hour. I like that. Don't you think, Jeffrey? I think that's really cool. As a matter of fact, no, happy Easter, Kresk. Thank you for being here, buddy. You guys make it fun. You make it worthwhile. It's the only reason I love doing it. And really, what I've learned, and this year I'm going to exercise it, is Blade Show ain't about the blades. The blades are great. But like I said, I might be kicking it, crashing in my car, hanging out there by the convention center and spending my time in the hall outside of Blade Show, after going into Blade Show, of course, but hanging out with you guys and being in the pit both nights to hang with you guys. I had the best conversations. I only stayed Saturday night last year because Friday we were beat. We left about 6 because Cole and Kara had left before us. We had to go let them in. All right, Ed's in the lead just because that's one of my favorite books. No, you guys are all awesome. I'm just glad to be able to help facilitate y'all's awesomeness. It makes me happy. Maddie coming in hot. That's hotter than that sidekick coming into Shane's calf. I love it. Lost Sailor, Taint of Circumstance. Y'all are great. Carco's pulling fast out. And then Kyle jumps in. Officer Nass. Guys, we're going to fade into Easter. It's going to be taintalicious. Budget guy coming in hot. God, y'all are clever. It's so freaking funny what can keep grown men and lady maybe just entertained. And no ladies would be entertained with this, but I could just sit here for hours and watch y'all's wheels, your hamster wheels, spin in your brain like mine is. See if y'all know what mine is. Y'all are funny. Y'all are killing me. All right, kids. We are going to ease into Easter morning because I know we're all going to be up checking out Urban Woodsman. I don't know if Tri-State's doing his Sunday service or did he say he was off this week? I think he said he might be off tomorrow. I can't remember. But yeah, I'm looking forward to going to see Urban Woodsman in the morning. And if I'm not there, it's because I slept through it. But today, guys, I went to bed last night at 3 because I filmed a members only video late last night, doing the rest of my collection dive, and just, drank a bunch of coffee or these things during my live last night, and didn't go to bed till like 3 o'clock. Well, Grateful Panic tried to wake me up because I've taken care of a buddy's dogs. But when he went to work and said I didn't move, and I got up at like 1 o'clock. I slept 10 hours, but I traveled all last week, so it was kind of nuts. But I will not sleep late tomorrow. I will be there for our brother Urban Woodsman. You guys, I appreciate you more than you know. I want you all to have a fantastic Easter. I'm thankful for you looking out for the guy or gal to your left, looking out for the guy or gal to your right. I love that you all, humor me with your time and don't think that I don't appreciate it. And I love every single one of y'all. Have an absolutely fantastic day today, and I will see you soon. I love all you guys. Have a good night. Peace.